Hey guys, what's up? It's Scares here. And actually, feels like there's something missing from today's video. Hey guys, what's up? It's Qwad here, and today is a bit of a different video. As you guys can tell by the title, apparently, and this is very apparently, Red Reserve has been restarted, and it's not really the most normal way that you see a team restarted. Now, if you guys don't know who the Red Reserve is, we can go ahead and start off with that. Red Reserve was originally started as a branch of the well-known team FaZe Clan. They were basically, like, for lack of a better term, FaZe's B team. They used it as a team filled with content creators that they wanted to bring into FaZe in the future, but they weren't quite ready, and so they made Red. Red was led by some names that you guys likely know, such as Formulas and Kiwis, Scarce, along a list of many others who have gone on to join teams like FaZe and teams like Luminosity and other big teams around the community. And basically, Red has a lot of history within the content community. And even branching off from that, once FaZe and Red eventually ended up splitting off, because obviously they ended up being two different teams and it didn't really work as well as the original idea for Red was. I wasn't entirely active in the community. I was on a bit of hiatus focusing on college during this time, so if I miss any facts, my apologies, but I think I have a general idea for most of it anyways. So then Red and FaZe split off, and then the owners of Red, which was Formula, I think was like the primary owner, and then it was led by some others that I mentioned, and they ended up selling it to a team called Orbit. You might know them around the community. It's been like restarted a few times, but it was Orbit at the time was owned by a couple of Swedish business people as like an esports group, and they wanted to merge with Red for the content, and it seemed to be a really good idea at the time. A lot of people were excited for it, and like it's pretty similar to the whole Optic situation now that we're looking back on that. But basically, to fast forward, Red had a logo. It was an R, and the FaZe logo, and then D. And then when they split out away from FaZe, they changed the FaZe logo into an E. And then later on with the rebrand with the Orbit group, they ended up changing to the logo that I'm wearing on my hat right now. And this was the final version of the actual Red. And basically what happened was Red ended up not being able to pay all of their players, and they didn't even finish out some of their merch sales and stuff. Myself included. I was one of the people that ordered merch from them and never got it. Luckily, I was able to get a refund, but there was many others that weren't able to. And so Red abruptly ended. The CEO ended up ghosting everyone. I'm pretty sure he still hasn't even posted on social media since the incident. And other than that, eventually Red ended up selling their social media accounts, the YouTube and Twitter accounts, to a team called Nordabind, which is a completely separate team. Not really the smartest idea, obviously, because all of the followers were fans of Red. Probably the only thing that they did that was somewhat cool and also somewhat smart on their side was that on the YouTube channel they just left up all the videos, so they're still all there for us to watch, but also they're probably just doing it to be able to get a cut of the money and use the views for sponsorships and such. But recently, obviously they changed their Twitter username over from Red Reserve to I don't even know what their username is, I really don't care. But the Red Reserve Twitter ended up becoming available, and one of the latest leaders of the team and a friend of mine, Green, he is the owner of the Twitter handle now at the moment. And so every now and then over the past few months, if you guys go and look at the Red Reserve Twitter, which is still at the moment owned by Green, Um, like, there's been people that, I mean, this happens a lot where people try to restart a team that ended because they want to piggyback off the success. But this is the first time that I've seen something of this nature. And basically how businesses work, obviously, is that even for these gaming teams and such, if they're the bigger businesses, they'll be getting an LLC, which is, it files them as an actual business. And like everything, the LLCs expire over time if they aren't renewed. And Reds, which obviously the team ending, the CEO's ghosting, and I don't know the exact details. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, so if I miss details, I apologize, but this is still common knowledge, so like, don't take stuff as like blatant lies that I'm saying. But what happened was that the Red name ended up becoming available, and this restart, I'll put those in quotation marks, they ended up taking the available name and using it to start, wait for it, Red as a PUBG mobile competitive team. And yeah, because Red, obviously being the branch out from FaZe, is pretty much all about Call of Duty, a bit about like some other games here and there, but I mean, PUBG Mobile is like one of the very, very small divisions within it. But basically, the weird thing here is that I mentioned that Red has some debts that they owe to players. And in the news release that the restart came out with, they said that they're not going to be paying out anything and that they're not worried about that because they're claiming to be a completely different company, even though they're also claiming that they're doing it for the Red community and fan base. And you guys are starting to see where this is going, because you can't have one without the other. And since they bought the name of the team and not the actual company, like, all the assets from the team, including the debts, there's one thing that this team is overlooking pretty drastically. And one thing that I've noticed is that they're still using, notice how I mentioned all of the logos, the most recent one that I'm wearing on the hat, the one with the FaZe logo in the middle, and then the one that was the first one when they branched out that is just RED spelled out without the FaZe logo in the middle, and that is the logo that they're currently using. Now, you guys are starting to see where this is going. If they only purchase the name, then they don't have any rights to use the logo. They can't use the logo on their websites, they can't use it on any merchandise, they can't use it for any team branding for events and such. And I don't think they realize this because they're using it. And otherwise, they obviously can't get access to any of the social medias because they don't own them. They have the Twitter handle Red Reserve 2020, which in itself is pretty funny. But it's just pretty interesting how they think that they can go and piggyback off of other people's success. Like, even if the person that, brought it back was like one of the people, like the main people that made Red succeed, or originally the content creators, that's what built the name, and then all of the all of their running pieces within the esports division that helped keep that growing. But this team isn't any of that. Like, they might have some of the competitive players from the PUBG Mobile side, but they don't necessarily have the rights to the team. To put it in perspective, let's say if Optic ended completely, and they shut down, or to put it in a different term, we have Dare, which just ended. If you guys know Dare Rising, their LLC eventually will expire and it will be available, but that doesn't mean that you get to use especially their logo or any of the stuff like that. And that's basically all that we're at right now. It's a pretty recent outcome, so we'll see like what happens in the future with it, if there's anything further that happens. But I will even personally have a problem if they try using the logo. Obviously, they might be just kind of at like free range since the CEO dipped from the team. But one person I think that probably still has rights, once again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but the creator of the logo, the designer, they still own rights to the logo, even though they sold it, because they sold it to the red company that this team was, or this, restart was not wanting to buy, so therefore they don't own rights to the logo. And so I feel like if anything, the logo designer might have some rights to it. But anyways, if you guys find this interesting at all, definitely let me know what you think about it. If you guys want to see any more stories like this, definitely be sure to let me know that down in the comments below, and by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I also stream regularly over on Twitch at twitch.tv/quadruple, which will be linked down below as well, along with all my other social medias. And hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. This has been Qwad, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.